Okay, so sorry I'm rather late, but I have been working on the car. I'll tell you about that in a moment. I'll just do this. Okay, let's move this radio out my way. Now, I've done absolutely nothing in here since last week to do with radios or anything like that. Actually, I was going to turn the sound up a little bit. That is pretty much where it used to be. Try that. Hopefully we won't get any clipping, which I might even try a bit more. Hopefully we won't get any clipping. Okay, so yes, so the Rover went for its roadworthy last week and everything passed except for two things. Some oil, which is pretty old and yeah, but it shouldn't be there, and that's because it's been sitting for maybe close to 12 months or 10 months. And the other thing was the radiator fluid. Now we changed the radiator fluid, the whole radiator, about 3 weeks ago, and this is heavy. We changed the fluid and everything like that. Before it was sort of this pale, insipid green colour, and we changed it for some better, very expensive actually, bright yellow, bright pink coloured radiator fluid. And have I got any screwdrivers in here, or have I moved them all out? Don't tell me I moved them all out. Okay, maybe this one will do. And so we did all that and it wasn't leaking, or so we thought, but it was leaking at the top of the radiator, and because it's a V6, it was the thermostat housing is in the V, and it was leaking down there. So I ordered a new thermostat housing and the connecting pipe and the outlet pipe and all the clips, etc. And they arrived within 24 hours, which was great. So I started on Friday afternoon after I'd been to the doctors, and that is really, really complicated to change because it's right down the V, and there's a plastic manifold which comes over the top, and then there's the other two manifolds which are well and truly in the way. So you have to take the whole intake manifold and the fuel inlet off. You have to take all the fuel rails out, you have to take the... Geez, this is tight. It says push down. And yeah, so I did all that, took the plastic bits out, took the thermostat housing out, and there was nothing wrong with them. But what I did notice as I was taking it apart was that one of the manifolds, which has got 4 bolts on the outside and 3 on the very inside, the 3 on the inside were 2 of them were loose, and another one was I just pulled out without doing anything to it. So that was probably the cause of the leak, and there was telltale pink stains down there. So I did all that, put it all back together again, and as I was putting it back together again, I noticed that one of the clips on the fuel injectors was skew whiff, and the injector had been turned 180 degrees, so the wiring was on the inside, and I stupidly took the clip off and turned it around, and by that stage my friend was over. This was yesterday lunchtime, and we put the clip in properly, and then there was another one which was the wrong way round, and so we just turned them around without thinking too much about it, clipped it all back to in properly, put the whole kit and caboodle back together again, including all the hoses, everything. And we also, well, when I was disassembling it, a couple of the, there's like 2 T things where the pipes go into, and they go absolutely totally brittle. Why isn't this coming off? And of course I broke those. Now this afternoon, after complete reassembly and fixing up the T joints temporarily, there it is, the we put it all back together again and hope for the best, and we started it up, and of course it was backfiring. So we fiddled around with the, and my magnetic trays are out in the garage being used, so I'll put it in to that. As we were trying to start it and it was backfiring, we thought the motors for the variable inlet had sort of come a squiff or whatever, and so we took the plastic manifold piece off, played around with all the connectors and the motors and all that sort of thing, put it back together again, and still wouldn't run properly, and by this stage it was really ponging your petrol. So we pulled it all apart again, and sure enough, the injector seals had gone on the ones we turned around. So that was at 4 o'clock, and Repco, which is the better of the parts places, they often have that sort of thing in stock, but well, Burston's the best one, but they're not open on the weekends up here, and Super Cheap is, yeah, hit and miss at the best. And by that stage it was 4:30, I was going to do this live stream, and Super Cheap is a good 15 minutes drive away to the other end of Ballarat completely, and so we've given up until tomorrow morning. Okay, so what have we got here? Okay, got lots of destroyed foam or disintegrated foam. We're on the overhead camera, so I'll bring you down. Don't think, is that, yep. So we've got all the battery stuff over here. Got our aerial over here. And this looks like it's been tampered with before, because these battery leads are not connected. Oh, they've been resoldered, I should say. Pretty badly, actually, this red one down the bottom. So the first thing to do is to take a photo of it. It was quite involved the first time I took it apart, and the second time, or the first time we reassembled it, was a bit of a mystery. We did it the second and third times in really quick time. So of course I don't have my soldering iron here. It's out in the other room because I've been working on a Pioneer 3-in-1, and that was easy to fix. It was just one capacitor, but the cassette deck is not working satisfactory. I've got another one where the cassette deck is working beautifully, but this one looks like, because it was owned by an older couple and they didn't really like music, so the daughter who offered it to me said that it hadn't been used for many a year. Was the husband had died about 10 years ago, and the mother was going into a nursing home. And why isn't, oh yep, just a bit tight. So we'll flip this over if we possibly can. I think we're going to have to desolder a few things like around here. So we've got 2 wires on that one, the orange and the shorter red, then we've got the long red going up there, and got the yellow there. Yeah, this is going to be yucky. Oh, that is really horrible. It's not only sticky, it's got all that foam stuff on it. Okay, that's better. Right. Where's my bin? Can't see my bin. Oh, it's there. Okay. So The tuner section, which is over here, that has got one, no, it doesn't seem, yeah, it's got one capacitor right down under there, and that looks like about it. Yeah, so it's got one electrolytic capacitor down right under there, so I'm not going to do anything to the actual tuner section. I don't know what that is. It's a big blue heat shrinked blob which goes up into there, into the cassette mechanism. We've got a very large Nikon Chemicon capacitor down underneath here, but I can't see anything else at the moment. So I'll be back in a moment. I'll have to go and get my soldering iron. We've got something down here, looks like a fuse or something. Yeah, that's a fuse. Very nicely made. Don't know whether you can see that, but it's that clear sort of semi-hard plastic. Yeah, beautiful. This era of Sony gear was really super well made. Okay, so I'll go and get the soldering iron. Make the space for it. All these transistor radios, which we'll get to. Cord there. Okay, we're back in a moment. So I'll run this probably till 6:30. Put this over here. And of course I dropped the little thing, the solder cleaner thing, brass, so I'll go and get the solder iron cleaner. I'll be back in less than a second this time. In fact, I'll go to the loo. while I'm at it. Okay, so I've got this jog jam down there, and I've also got my desoldering gun, and I thought this bench was going to be big enough when I designed it all, but of course I've got a fair bit of junk on it, but yeah. Okay. Right. Plug this in. And we'll take a photo of this wiring. And we'll very carefully desolder these ones because they're connected to the remote. There's little 2.5mm plugs, and yeah, I don't know what that's connected to yet. Get my one, two, three. Okay, so the board should be easier to move up. Still got a bit of tension on it. So I've got this brown. That shouldn't be under any tension. It looks like we'll have to move the board that way because there's screws there, and this big capacitor is underneath this bracket. So I don't know whether this is a major job to undo this. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect the output transistors from their heat shield, not the heat shield, the mounting plate. So I don't want to tug on those and break those. Right, we're almost there. There we go. Now, you're going to see this before me, I think. Oh no. So we can pull this a little bit further. Ooh, okay. So we've got quite a few capacitors in here, electrolytics. So we've got this big one here. We've got this one, 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 and this one. So I'm primarily concerned about the amplifier section because the cassette deck is neither here nor there. I'm not going to be using it, although it does work really well. So this is from 1973 or something, and the belt is perfect. So it's really good, this belt. Although it probably could do with a replacement. There's a couple of kinks in it where it's been sitting, but that's neither here nor there. So I think the cassette, this is the amplifier part down here. Got a couple of three transformers in here. So the power comes in here. I don't know what this is. Assume it's a transformer of some description. It's got heat shrink around it. Keep it insulated. Okay, let's do this one, or this one over here first. So we'll work our way across this if we've got the parts. Again, I haven't ordered anything. So I've been to the doctors a couple of times and not been feeling all that crash hot. These are nice capacitors. I'll be surprised if they've failed completely, but it is sounding a bit, how's your father? And it is, well, it's 10 volts, I can read that. It is, that's a 220, okay. So we've got that one, and what's this one? This one is a 100, yep, got those. This is a 47, so I've got those. That's 3.3, probably got those. Yeah, so we can do a bit of soldering today. That's a 10 up there. This is a something 50 volts, 47, 50, that size. Or is that 0.47? I think that might be 0.47. I think I found a schematic for this when I first got it online. That's not going to move. That's not been soldered in very well, but that's okay. Yeah. I always wondered about these 4-pin input on the power, but there's definitely 4 wires coming out of the other side, so it must be wired strangely. Okay. I know you could get rechargeable units for these, or some of these were totally rechargeable units. Okay. And we'll see if we can fish this out from down here. Okay, we're still getting bushfires and other fire at Golden Point. That'll make my friend happy, because he's living in Golden Point. Speak of the devil. Okay, I'll just reply to him very quickly. Okay, right, sorry about that. That happens during live streams. Okay, so the first one will be this one, and this was a 220 at 10 volts, is it? Yeah, 10 volts. Okay. Just reply again. Good eye. Okay, so what's that? 220 at 10 volts. And I'll shut the curtains too. To 20 at 25 volts. It's definitely too large, so we want our orange container. To 20 at 16. Yeah. Okay. So one of these Nichicon golds. And so it's directly in line with this line in. And I can see that one and that one. That's it. Good. Yeah. Come on. You know you want to. Come on. That's it. So, yeah. So this is a nice Nippon Chemicon one. And where is my capacitor tester? Is that it's yep. So what's the betting on this one? So it's a 220. $367. So that is not real good. For a 220, it's almost twice what it should be. Well, it's not twice, obviously, but it's way higher than it should be. So that doesn't bode great for the rest of them. Yeah, just put this where I can trip over it. Yep. Oh, go away. Windows Update is driving me up the wall. Did a full update last week. Now, of course, I haven't marked or remembered which way it goes around. Although it is marked on the board. So, what's the next one? So we'll note this one, that one, and we'll yeah. So we'll note, because it's got some symbol which I can never remember the polarity of. It doesn't have plus or minus, it just has the line with the little square, and then the sort of the U-shaped one on the other side around it. So this one is of course can't see. It's 100 at 6.3. These are all common, fairly common values in Japanese radios and radio cassettes. So that's a 47 at 16, 10 at 16, what are these? These are, yeah, we know they're Kemet. 47, 16, a million of those. 220 at 16. So, what did I say? $100 at 6.3. 100 at 6.3. Where are my 100s? Okay, 100 at 16, 100 at 10, which is about as small as you can go, voltage wise. Now this one is a bit more in line with the remote socket thing. There's a lot of unused things, spaces on this, but there's a huge number. To unhook those, that's better. Don't want to damage our output transistors. Okay, so this one here is big gap, and it seems to be which way? Okay, so it's going, the legs are that way, whereas the other one legs were that way. So we need to go over to here. Should really take that off, shouldn't I? What have we got? So we've got a wire underneath. Haven't got anything around it, so it's all by its lonesome. That is that one up there, so fingers crossed it's no. We'll do, so that's remote, it's across there, so we'll do this one first. Not that you can see it. No, that's not, definitely not it. Do this one. Does that go into that big blob? It sure does. It's going to take a while to melt. And pull this out. Is that? Yeah. Use a soldering iron for that one, I think. And actually, I'll suck some of it off. Actually, it might not be that one. It might be this one. Yep, certainly is. Good. Yeah, where did it come from? It was in there. That's odd. Careful. It's that way. So we've got this. It's not marked on the board. Bugger. I didn't note the holes correct enough. I think it's these two. And does this go from where a transistor once was? Seems to go to where... This is weird. There's so many components not fitted on this area around here. There's nothing up there, and it's says resistor, got a missing resistor across there, another one, 250 across there, got a missing diode, got another missing capacitor there. Yeah. So where did this actually go? That one's longer. Did that go in there? Or did it certainly didn't go across. So I'll do this. Is this the one? So that goes there. And does that fit in there? Yep. So, yeah. Right. How weird. So it goes across here from one of the legs of the transistor into a resistor point. But there's nothing on the other end of the resistor. And of course, two of the transistor legs are not in there as well. That is very strange. So, that's the 220. Where's the... Did I cut the... No. Okay. Yeah. That is the negative there. So that will go into there. So it tells us nothing about the polarity of the other one. Pop some solder on that. Right. Yeah, this is a bit hard. Clip these off down here. Probably should go and get my other good cutters. These are more for brutal wire. Good. Right, where's the next one? This big one down here. And that is a 470 at how many volts? Doesn't matter. 10 volts at 470. Ten, 16 at 470. Now that is a really big, brutal cap, but we do have lots of these Kemet audio caps. Well, not Kemet, Nichicon, I think. So we'll do that, because it does sound pretty good, this unit. Is that going to... I'm just a bit worried because that is quite a massive cap in there, and this is quite tiny, but it's rated the same. Or yeah, it's 10 volts of 470, and this one is 47. Oops. That would explain it. Okay. My bad. Now let's go get 470. 470 at 16 volts. You got any of those? Oh, we've got two left. So and these, I think, Nippon Chemicon. Okay, where are you? Right down here, we've got that thing there. Okay, it's going to be underneath all of this. Yucky, horrible stuff. It's got a wire connect, yeah. Right. Hate this stuff. I'm sure it was nice when it was new, but after 53 years or something, it's not good. Right. Now they look like they come from the... It's coming from down there. So where does that go to? And this one probably goes across to the radio. Where's the radio come in? Okay, so we've got those. Yeah, it's probably this one up here. Yeah, that's definitely a white and brown. Oh, no, it's red and white. This is black and white. So anyway, it'd be one of these coaxes. So we've got that down there. We've got, hoping we don't have to desolder any of these wires. Got that transformer there. Will that come out easily? No. So the thing's running off of it. It's all just one big unit. Part of the cassette deck. Part of it. So we're doing this one, the transformer's there, and this one is there. So we've got the transformer across right, so that goes to there, and we've got what's there, feels like it there. It's bound to be under that wire. What's this one like to desolder? Why did that come off? Did I take that one off? I think I did. Did I? Right. Yeah, I did take it off. It goes across to this over here. So that's all right. I don't know why I took that one off. We can do, we've got 3 coming out of there. Got the black, red, and the earth. This is going to be really, really difficult. Right, we'll just move it out of the way. This is half the battle with things like this, because yeah, it's all still sort of point-to-point wiring. The wiring in these is quite complicated. And this is, oh, okay. I definitely don't have one of those caps. So that's a 12 volt at 2000, that big one. So I definitely don't have one of those. But what I'll do is, once this is changed, this one, it's around here somewhere. I don't know whether that might be part of it there. So we'll take this wire off. So that is reasonably easy to identify. Take a couple of pictures. Yeah, that looks like something out of a component down there. Try not to burn anything. Yeah, that's good. Feels like it's about to come out. Now, which way is it connected? Okay, so that one is loose, and I think with any luck it is this one up here. So try and move this plastic out the way. That feels like it's about to come out. Yeah. And we're out. Now we'll... Ooh. So we've got our negative that way. So that is, yeah. Good. Negative that way. So the U shape is the negative. U shape is the negative. Don't know why they just couldn't have, if they were screen printing things, why they just couldn't have done the, or do this. Trim it off and then we'll reattach the wire. Good. Right. And we'll have a look where the wire went. So I went to the lower one, the one closest to me. Go down there. Good, done. And what was the other one? Is this, no, that was that one. Yep. So we want pretty sure it was that one in there. Wasn't it? It's going to trick me and can't see. There's wires in the way. There we go. Okay. Why aren't you flying? Ah. The soldering iron has decided to go to sleep. Come on. Good. It's no good. Well, these leads stick out quite a bit on some of these old components. They didn't really shave them down to the solder. Okay. Now, I don't know whether it's going to work with this and this disconnected. They're the remote for the cassette deck. Don't know why I'm calling it a cassette deck. Cassette recorder. Or as Sony called it, cassette corder. But we'll plug it in and we'll see if we get anything. So I'll put that back there. Pull these out the way. Right. And I'll see if I can find one of my two AC leads, which are very, very rare on the ground. Yep, I can see one. I've got about 20 pieces of Sony equipment from this era, and they've all got the 4-point input jack, and you cannot get these for love or money. But I was intending to get some a resin kit, but I ordered it twice and it didn't come the first time, and I rang up and they said we didn't get your order. Then the second time, I put the credit card through and still nothing came. And I rang them up and they said, oh, your credit card's been flagged as fraud. So, okay, I don't know what the settings are on the top. And I don't know whether this is going to work at all. Okay, it's switched on. We've got the volume. Don't really need the aerial. No. It needs these 3 wires. Or 4 wires. So we took the other one off, didn't we? Okay. Right, so what we'll do is I'll test these 2 capacitors. So lay your bets. So this is the 470. And we'll test this one. $569. ESR is probably a bit high too, but yeah. So that one is definitely dead. Well, not dead, but definitely needed replacing. And this one is the 100. And 133. So that one's pretty high as well, although it's not complete disaster. Right. So what I'm going to do is very quickly go and get a drink because I'm absolutely parched. And then I'm going to do a couple more capacitors. It's very strange. There's a line of flux or something which goes right across there in a very straight line. So it must have been done by a machine or something. But it's been done after it's been soldered. Don't know what that's about. Maybe these weren't dip soldered, were they? Or they might have been. Having everyone put the components in and then run them through the solder bath. Okay, I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's Whatsit, and I'll be, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Right. So let's see what we can do next. I'll do 1 or 2 more capacitors, depending on how difficult they are to get to. So next one we'll do is down here, and that is I can't see that one. That one really is a secret. So it should be there. 25 volts, 3.3. So we'll do that one next. Look for a 3.3 from the stash. Three 110, 3.3. At how many volts? Not that it matters. 50 volts. Yeah. So yeah, that's how small capacitors have got. Right, so that's a 50 volt capacitor. Absolutely tiny. And yeah, it's between those two things, the transformers, and it's in line with the remote and line in switch or plug inputs. So it should be remote, and this is the transformer, and we've got a couple of bits and pieces there. It's a little bit further on. Now it should be that one. So I'm hoping it's this one here. We'll try this. Yep, that was a good guess, or not an educated guess really. And so that's out. And just a little bit further back to the top. So it should be this little one down here. Yep. And my other, of course, all my tools are out in the lounge room with the Pioneer. Yeah, why isn't this coming out? Need a bit of encouragement from the soldering iron. I've just soldered it back in. Come on. What am I doing? Okay, it's out. Put this one back in. Hopefully it's the right way round. Right. Good. Where's my... It's better. And we'll trim this off. Now, what we'll do is I'll connect up the remote switch and we'll see if it works. I don't want to go too far with doing this and find it doesn't work. So, what do we have wire-wise for that? Okay, so the yellow wire was closest to this, that one there. These are, yeah, these have been done before. I can probably bridge this somehow or another, but the two connected to the other one. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. It's just not quite long enough. Okay. This will be tricky. Come on. Yeah, working on the car doesn't, in the middle of winter, literally, in Ballarat, yesterday it was absolutely freezing. Literally. I was out there at 10 o'clock in the morning and the temperature, according to the Weather Bureau, admittedly it's at the airport, which is always wrong, but we'll just put that down there like that for now. It was 3 degrees. This is 11 o'clock in the morning. 3 degrees, and the feels like temperature, which is the wind chill temperature, was -4 or no, it was -7. The wind was absolutely bitterly cold. And there's our long red wire. So we've got 3. So it should be up here somewhere. So that big blob there. Got that little one there. And that one there. Got our hole there. So it must be this one up here. Looks like fresh solder up there. Yeah. Oh. Good. Right. Let's try her out. Good. We've got a radio. Yeah, I know I've got a few loose connections in there. Trying not to disturb anything. Not sure what that is. Well, medium wave.
Tony his feet, trying to tap it out the side.
So I've got. So that's Melbourne. 3LO or 774, whatever you like to call it. And I've got all the lights and everything on, all the computers. So that is amazing.
The Eagles yet to score 8 gone in the opening term. If you'd like to get in touch,
wow.
437-774-774 here on Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. The Eagles go long to the wing from the kick out, very long into Coney.
It's better to pick up another adjacent station. That is really good. Another station there. Radio National. Wow. I wonder what it's like on FM. Try not to short anything out too much. Those switches definitely need doing.
Part of the body to try and clean up an infection, and we can collect those cells and engineer them so they acquire new properties that allow them to grow.
So that's BBC
Types of cancer cells and blood cancer cells that they can
on Radio News Radio. So they play the BBC World Service after 6 o'clock on a Sunday evening. About 10 o'clock in the weeknights. That's the community station, and it's bang on. BBC Classic, and I haven't really got the aerial up. Triple J. Right at the very end of the dial is the is ABC local radio Ballarat, and that's perfect.
11 gone in the opening term at a wet Perth Stadium. Clint Wilton alongside Mitch Turner, our experts Peter Bell and Chris Waterman.
Yeah, they just look friendly. It was a
such a good radio. Okay, so I'm going to cut it short to, at 6:20 here. There's not much point going on and doing any more capacitors tonight. I'll continue on with this next week. So I've got a few things to do with it. Like cleaning all the switches and the volume and the tone control. And a few more capacitors in there. So thanks for watching. I'm just unplugging everything as we go. Yeah, I've been out in the freezing cold all day, so I definitely need dinner and all that sort of thing. So yes, actually I've just thought I'm glad my friend's coming over tomorrow to do the so we can go and get the little injector rubber seals, because there's no buses tomorrow. They're on strike yet again. So that's the third time in as many weeks. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'll hopefully have everything set up and working next week. I have been doing a little bit of stuff with the little computer which runs the that little title sequence and a few other things. I'm not sure why it was so overblown last week. It sounded fine. Then I turned on YouTube and just blasted through. So what I've got it doing now is coming through the other switcher, and then the little small switcher it's just got the one channel going through it like it is now. So that should, fingers crossed, hopefully fix that problem. And also I'm trying to get the scope to go through that little computer as well, so we can have an oscilloscope on screen as well. I do have my old $5 Trio here, which works beautifully with valve radios, but I've got a little Signalant, and that is much better for transistor radios and things like that. Okay, so goodbye, and I don't know whether I'm going to get to making a other video this week or not. I'm still not 100%, and so goodbye, and I'll at least see you all next week. Bye. Let's turn it off. And the stream. So goodbye.